Hello and welcome to the AI Business Leadership Podcast, where we speak to business leaders about all things artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Laura Nelson, Head of Product at SolvedBy.AI, and today's guest is Stefan Fehr, founder and CEO of ModernIQs. Hello, Stefan.
Hello, hello, hello.
Great to have you on to chat today. So, Stefan is founder and CEO of ModernIQs, which is a company dedicated to helping marketers, marketing agencies, entrepreneurs, and content creators of all levels to maximize their productivity and achieve remarkable results. Today, we're going to hear about Stefan's journey to becoming a CEO and a market leader. We're going to talk a little bit about different types of leadership and different ways of becoming a leader. And we're also going to talk about the impact of artificial intelligence on efficiency, about humans and AI working well together, and about how AI can be used to streamline operations without sacrificing on quality. So, Stefan, thank you for speaking with me today. Could you just share with our listeners a little bit more about your background and what brought you to your current position as a founder and a CEO?
Yeah. So I guess I started as a normal work apprenticeship background in a German car manufacturing production plant. So I think when from the age of 16, I was always working in an environment with heavy automation, like huge industrial machinery. And I think I was always a believer in automating work. And then obviously I was always a IT guy as well. So the mix between the mechanical knowledge and the IT, the IT uh, as a hobby or as a life strong life purpose. I don't know. Brought me to brought me to using software as a service in 2018, 2019, and 2019 I started using AI apps for the first time, creating text, and I think images were a thing back then as well. I'm not sure anymore. There were like tiny applications with AI, but it was already very impressive. So, and 2020, I launched my first bigger platform, App Columbus, and on the day when I created a lot of text with AI and put it on my blog articles, like almost like from that day on, traffic just went really up on Google. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, text is doing the trick. And AI content is doing the trick. And back in the day, I had 4 hours to create a high quality blog article. And now, so I thought with 69 articles, I had a reach of 130,000 a month on Google with 69 articles. And I had like 4 hours for an article. So I thought, like, how can I get this time down and quality up? Yeah, that's what we're doing today.
And so your journey to becoming a leader, to becoming a CEO of a market leading company, that was quite different to the typical journey then, would you say?
Well, yeah, in the time before I was like employee. That was not that. It was like a transition time where I tried to do stuff with coaching, and in my latest like last job, I was highly optimizing my personal finance. So I was like having a lot more money than I need, and so I actually kind of already had financial freedom to an let's say high degree. So I was like, okay, I have more money than I need, and I can always go back to this. So let's try something more hardcore. Yeah.
And AI obviously played a big role in getting you to where you are.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like the thing. The start was seeing how much traffic I can get on Google using AI, a combination of AI and blog articles, and ever since. So the goal was and still is to create super big websites with a lot of high quality content. So my goal always was to have 100 sites like App Columbus, but with 1,000 articles per site. And so that's why I needed a, a, a custom specific, custom made app that reduces the time I need to create for a high quality blog article down to like the well, right now we are at the speed that which is if you want to create a blog article with ChatGPT at the same quality level what we do, you need 4 hours. With our tool you need 10 seconds, so that's a roughly 1,000 times faster than ChatGPT.
So we talked a lot, and when we were kind of prepping for this podcast about your business and how you have essentially a headcount of one, and a lot of your solutions are one-click solutions and very efficient solutions. So that's about as efficient as it can be. How do you see AI impacting the efficiency of businesses at the moment?
So I was recently, a couple of months ago, I was listening to podcasts or to I was in a meeting with Gartner, and they've done a poll, a global poll, where they asked CEOs what are the current issues with AI and how do the what's the state of integrating. And I think the biggest percentage, like 40% or so, said that the issue is that employees are not skilled enough, or that applications are too hard to use, or employees didn't had enough training, and that's where they're facing the current issues of integrating AI into their companies. And I think that's like that's the current state, I would say. Yeah, I mean, using ChatGPT is like a general purpose tool, and um, you can be like a couple of, maybe you can, depending on the task, be a couple of 100% more efficient, right? But you would still need like you would need to learn how to use it and train it, and then a couple of 100% is, let's say you're 300% more efficient. With our tool, you're 300,000% more efficient in a specific task. Yeah.
And so once where businesses are able to get over some of those issues, perhaps with usability of AI tools and staff skills in using AI in the future, once those kind of issues are overcome, what do you think are some of the biggest benefits for efficiency, and where will they come from?
Mm. Well, I guess I think we as a species have a tendency to use the next best solution. For example, petrol cars, right? We always have the tendency to find something which is making our lives a little more easy, and then we spread it across the world, but we don't really uh, develop the solution to a point where it's like sustainable for long term and like at its maximum potential. So, for example, right now I see of for the for the midterm future, I see that we are going to use, for example, we're going to use stuff like Copilot or so to do our tasks faster, right? But AI has the potential to eliminate tasks. So instead of being 300% faster because you're using ChatGPT or another tool, or you're using another tool to create emails faster, so on. The question is, should you even still write emails? And I think we have like a two-directional thing going. We're probably doing the same as always, where we take the next best solution and improve a little bit, and that's what I'm seeing is playing out right now. But really, what we should do is we should request software companies to produce products which are so simple to use that they don't need employee training. I mean, for example, our solutions, that's why we focus on one click, because when you want to create a blog article with ChatGPT, it's a couple of hundred steps, micromanagement steps, and we automated a lot of them. So with our tool, you only need to enter the headline of the article, press create, and if you want to, it's getting already published to your website. So the question is, are we going to go the direction as always, where we say, well, we have a next better solution, let's use it, or should we go like then the other 97% of the way, and use apps that are 1,000 times more efficient than a normal LLM right now.
Okay, yeah, very interesting. Um, so, can you see then examples currently of innovative ways like that businesses are integrating AI into their business models, or do you think for the most part we're not quite there yet?
Well, we so I can we are focusing like hardcore on on developing our apps as with the highest possible quality, because it's like the content game is, if you have the highest quality, you win, right? And uh, so I can see, so that's why I can only give examples from our customers. So, for example, if you see a restaurant, right? Uh, Google recently had a new update, or let's say you're a lawyer, like you're a local business. Let's take a lawyer. So Google had a recent update where you actually can type into Google Maps your law issue, and it'll suggest the correct lawyer for you, right? So you just type in, somebody drove into my car. Which kind of lawyer would you recommend? And then on Google Maps, it'll show you the ones that match. These ones, it can show if they have art, if they have content on their website talking about these issues, right? So if you're a lawyer and you're focusing on that specific topic and you have like a lot of content around that topic, Google can see, all right, this is the right place to go. If you don't have the content, it's harder for Google to see. And then getting this content onto your website used to take like getting 1,000 articles in high quality on your website used to take thousands of employees. Or I mean, this was literally impossible in the past. Would have taken millions of euros for, I guess. And right now, because of one-click app, right, it's kind of everybody can do it when they wait for the bus. So you have an idea. Let's just assume you're a lawyer and your last client had this issue, and you're waiting for the bus, and you think like, oh, I could create a blog article about it. You write the headline, you press create, and it's done, right? So this is where I can see integration and saving like tons and tons of time and money. Yeah.
And there's the saving of money and saving of costs by being, more efficient. But there's also those kinds of innovations help businesses stay competitive, help them stay at the top of, the list of recommended businesses when you type a certain thing into Google, all those things, right? They give you a competitive edge as well.
And I mean, it's like, that I think it it's I'm not sure, but I guess cost is mostly not the most limited resource. Time is, right?
Mm.
And this just doesn't take any time. It doesn't take any brain activity. It's like you have an idea. So our apps are created for that. You have an inspiration, an idea, and you can instantly transfer it into content. Yeah.
And that's something that's becoming a real, obviously it's possible for you in your business, but it's something that's becoming a real reality now with AI, which is very cool. So something that's often discussed sort of alongside AI and that I've discussed before on this podcast is the AI and human coexistence. So do you think that the current and future levels of AI driven automation can coexist with human employment, or do you think it will lead to quite significant disruption of jobs?
So there's a lot of this is a very active topic right
Mhm.
now, and I'm pretty active in following on it. And I always like I'm switching between the arguments. Like it's like almost every other week the other arguments overwhelm. The last argument I heard was an example where the example was, think about 100 years ago when horses got replaced by cars. So there's this famous picture from New York City, and I think in 1903 you would have one car, and the rest was horses on the street. And 10 years later, there was one horse, and the rest was cars, right? And but the issue is, so it, when you take this example, the horse has no job afterwards because the car took his job. So a human could find another job, right? Because the human is intelligent enough to find to do something else. But the issue this time is that this time we are the horse. So because this time we don't produce another technology where in the past people said this will take our jobs, and then it people could find new jobs and new branches developed, industries developed. But I think this time it's a little different because this time we actually produce a machine that is intelligent. So it can do. I think over the long term it'll be able to do almost any job and way better than humans. But this very much depends on how far do we get in artificially recreating any aspect of intelligence. For example, like inspiration. It's to, today I tried to create content for what happens if Nvidia becomes a competitor. Maybe Nvidia needs to now, because of its size, start to enter the markets where Microsoft Azure and AWS is and so on. So I try to create content and I asked the AI, what do you think could be potential effects of this? Like what could be what could come out of this in the future? And it just can't do it. So this is because we have not yet synthetically recreated this part of intelligence, which is inspiration, right? I'm not sure if we will be able to do that in the future to create like any aspect of intelligence artificially. But if not, I think this is where work will shift towards. So I always had this advanced idea of a person having an idea, and the AI is like an assistive layer around the brain, and it transforms the idea into a business. It creates a product, it does the marketing, it distributes. And if somebody else thinks is in a situation where they think I would need something like this, they just get it
Mm-hmm.
without even ordering something or anything. Yeah. This is something more advanced, but so I would say the future of work might be very, very much in the creative, inspirational part, and every, manual kind of work, it's probably going to be automated.
Which is, that's the dream. That sounds like a good thing, right? I guess kind of leads me on to the next question of how would you advise people, so individuals and organizations as well, how they should make sure that they are then taken along with that wave of benefits that AI will bring, and not get left behind.
Mhm. Well, I never really understood when people, for example, people saying, you will still need a so let's just take Canva as an example. With Canva, you can design images. Every image that is getting designed in Canva by somebody who's who's who would not have the possibility without Canva is taking a job from somebody who would have done it if there would not be any Canva, right? So I would suggest look, my company has something like 1.1 to 1.5 employees, me and somebody else, right? And I think what I created is used to take 20 to 50 people in the past. So if you think about, if you have a company with hundreds or thousands of employees, I would seriously, the hardest thing is to change culture. So culture takes the longest because people like to work in their old way. They come to work, they do what they like, and what they know and can, and where they have their abilities. Changing this will take the longest, and there is no time. So I would strongly suggest, especially if you have a company with a higher headcount, to start changing culture, to work with efficient tools, to look out for the employees that like to use the most efficient tools. There was, I guess, the pressure wasn't as strong in the past, not using the latest tech, but the more potent technology becomes, the more the pressure is on. I mean, if your competitor has a 5-person team accomplishing the same what you do with 1,000 people, then who's gonna have the most money doing advertising on Google and Meta and so on? They'll just crush.
Yeah. So get on the bandwagon, basically.
Get inspiration, get motivate your employees to use new technology. Nobody really likes to do micromanagement. Try to automate micromanagement. Try to get your people to think, do I need to do this click? That's how we create our one-click solutions, is focus on every click, on every task, whatever it is. Can we automate it? If yes, automate it and focus then on, I give you an example. The difference right now, in the past, I would have needed 20 hours to create a blog article. With AI, with ChatGPT, I need 4. With our tool, I can listen to podcasts for 4 hours, learn, get inspiration, and use our tool to create fresh, unique, high quality content. And at the end of the day, I have 10 articles. I have learned a lot, and the other person has 1 article, has learned nothing, and the output is 1 to 10. Yeah.
So speaking about content then, so I think a lot of people would say that, especially with things like content, there can be a gap sometimes in terms of the quality of what's produced by a human versus what can be produced by an AI. What are some of the ways that business leaders can use AI to streamline their operations in various ways without sacrificing on quality?
Well, it depends on what system you use. As I'm saying, like if I would try to automate, if I would have a different business with a lot of operations and a lot of employees, I would start looking exactly on the processes and how to automate each one of them. I think so. For I give you an example again from my company. Once you automate a task, it's getting to, I would say, 99.999% of the time it's getting done right. So you don't need to invest your time in working. You start. So all we do all day is we work on quality, because once you have automated a task, you can work on the next quality step instead of doing the task, right? So really get rid of tasks. Just, I mean, Elon is a good example, saying just look at, is it really needed, and if not, just kick it out, and everything which is left over, just try to automate it. And if you spend your time on automating quality instead of working, quality will rise all the time. I mean, it's obvious, because you're working on quality instead of working on work.
So you use that time that's freed up from your efficiency to focus on quality. Okay. All right. So finally, then, just to wrap us up, can you please share with us one prediction that you have for what artificial intelligence might be able to do for us in 10 years' time?
That's a tough one. I'm conservative about predicting the next 2 months, but I say, if it's not getting horribly wrong, where I see the probability to be low as well, by the way, I would say, look, when 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 we've approached each other, we figure out when is a good time to make a podcast. We write, we think, we look into our schedules and everything. I see a very high potential in the future of right now we're working on Neuralink to get signals from the brain out. As soon as we are able to get signals in and like have a technology that is like 10,000 times more precise, we can have an AI that is actually like an assistant that that works with our brain. So, for example, if I would now, I asked you, is the podcast interview going to be live? And you listen, you read the message, and then you respond. I think in the future this will be like my subconscious will my conscious will not be really be triggered because the answer it's gonna be the question is gonna be answered before I even think it because somewhere in my subconscious, the question arises, and AI will take it, put it to your assistive AI, and get the answer back before I even think about it. Or
Mm.
say another way, you at your friend's place and you left your jacket, and the next time you meet your friend will instantly remember, like intuitively remember, there's the jacket from Laura. Yeah.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks. We'll see. Assistive AI, very good. All right. Well, thank you so much, Stefan, for sharing your insights and expertise with us today. Been very interesting talking about different types of leaderships and different ways of becoming a leader, and also discussing the impact of artificial intelligence on efficiency and humans and AI working together and maintaining quality as well. So, thanks very much.
Thank you.
That concludes this episode of the AI Business Leadership Podcast. Keep an eye on our socials for more conversations with leaders in business and AI innovation, and we'll see you next time.